Oh god, the next one says, am I overreacting? My husband told me to go to sleep while he skinny dips with my best friend in our pool. Yeah, I'm not ready for this. Am I overreacting? My husband told me to go to sleep while he skinny dips with my best friend in our pool. Yesterday, my best friend came over to watch the UFC. My husband decided to smoke wings for dinner, so we were all sitting in our backyard, just eating and watching TV. My friend and my husband bought a bottle of whiskey earlier and they were drinking mixed drinks, but I was too tired and hungover from going out the previous day, so I wasn't drinking with them. So here's where the whole mess starts. They decide to make a bet on who's going to win the final fight. My husband proposes that the loser has to take a shot of whiskey and then jump into the pool naked. One of the bets was if they both lose, I'm not sure how, then they'd both jump into the pool naked. Oh, get rid of him, OP. I asked why does it have to be naked, but he ignored that question. This whole conversation happened an hour before the last fight. Shortly after that conversation, I fell asleep and I woke up around 1 in the morning because I heard the sound of splashing water. I opened my eyes and I saw that my husband and my best friend are both skinny dipping in our pool. I got up and I told him that it's late and I want to go to sleep and he should come with me, but he said that he's not ready to go to sleep and wants to continue drinking and swimming in the pool. My best friend was asking me to join even though she clearly knows that I'm exhausted and I don't want to drink. I declined the invitation and I went back into the house and laid on the sofa because I didn't know what else to do. I was feeling very uncomfortable, but I didn't want to make a big deal out of it, and I was just hoping that my husband will come back home and go to sleep with me, but that didn't happen. They proceeded to get wasted and swim naked until 3:30 a.m. when I saw him come to make another round of drinks for them, and this is where I lost it. I started yelling at him saying that it's super up that he thinks he can hang out all night butt naked in a pool with my best friend and get extremely wasted, all while his wife is sleeping by herself upstairs. I told him I don't hang out with any of his friends naked in the pool, and I'd never do that. After that, I went to our bedroom and I slammed the door. Shortly after, my best friend knocks on the door and asks what happened and if we can talk. I told her it's inappropriate for them to hang out naked in the pool by themselves. This is when she said, well, but what about those times when we skinny dipped all together? How is that any different? This is when I have to mention that we did skinny dip a few times together. Once with a big group of people at my husband's birthday, and one time when we were on shrooms. That was a choice that we made all together, and everybody was on board. This time I did not give my consent, nor did anybody ask me if it was okay. They just both decided that since we've done this before, then there shouldn't be any issues with that. So I told her that I didn't consent to them doing it without me, and that if she doesn't understand why this is wrong, then I can't help her. She called me a hypocrite and left the room. Oh my god, get rid of all of them. I thought that my husband would come to bed after this, but instead he proceeded to hang out with my best friend, and I found them sleeping on the same couch, opposite sides, under the same blanket at 6:30 a.m. when I got up to get water. I don't know what time she left the house, and I have no desire to talk to my husband. I just want to know if I'm overreacting. Of course not. Oh my god. Get rid of them both, OP. They suck. These are not the actions of a good partner, and they're not the actions of a good friend. Get rid of them, OP, especially your husband. What a piece of crap. Oh my god. That's so infuriating. I knew I wasn't ready to read that when we started reading it, and I was not ready to read that. Man, that was infuriating. The audacity and the disrespect. Yeah, the top comment, I would have flipped my far before 3:30 a.m. This is up. Yeah, it's so messed up. You are so not overreacting, OP. Yeah, like the comment below that says too. I don't think you're overreacting. I think your best friend sucks though, and also your husband does too. Yeah, you don't need these people, OP. Yeah, like this comment says, that whole situation is wild. You underreacted, my god. Yeah, definitely, you did not overreact. Get rid of them, OP. This comment says, damn, you got enemies on your front lines, girl. Dump the friend and the husband. The amount of audacity, entitlement, and disrespect. Absolutely not. I'm sorry, but this ain't no friendship between them. Not overreacting, but you need to get away right now. Nobody should be allowed in your life who disrespects you like this. Yeah, could not agree more. I can't believe what we just read. I don't know what ended up happening because there aren't any updates, but yeah, all the best with this, OP. Hopefully the husband and the friend are both gone. The next one's called, am I the gay hole for telling my sister I was infertile just to get her to stop asking me to be her surrogate? 3 years ago, my sister Anna, she was 29 at the time and now 32, had been struggling with infertility for years. I was 26 then and married, but my husband and I wanted to wait before having kids so that we could focus on our careers and establish ourselves. Anna kept on asking me to be her surrogate, and no matter how many times I politely declined, she would not take no for an answer. I explained that I wasn't ready for children myself, that I was not comfortable with being pregnant for somebody else, and that I didn't think I could handle the emotional and physical stress that comes with surrogacy, but Anna would always counter my reason saying that I was her only hope and would often guilt trip me about how much you wanted a baby and how great of an aunt I'd be. The pressure got to be too much, and during a family gathering she brought it up again in front of everybody, which made me feel trapped and humiliated. I was tired of my boundaries being ignored, so I told her, I can't be your surrogate, Anna, because I'm infertile myself. That wasn't true as far as I know. I just wanted her to stop asking. Anna looked shocked and was devastated. After that, she wouldn't talk to me, and eventually she and her husband got divorced because they couldn't agree on how to move forward with her infertility. Now 3 years after, I'm 29 and currently pregnant with my first child. When I told Anna about the pregnancy, she completely freaked out. She's been accusing me of betraying her and calling me a liar, and even saying that I ruined her marriage. She's been acting irrational and angry towards me ever since, and it's causing a lot of tension within the family. I do feel guilty about lying, and I never imagined that things would go this far. I only wanted her to respect my boundaries, but now it seems like I may have really hurt her life. So, am I the a-hole for telling my sister that I was infertile just to get her to stop asking me to be her surrogate? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. You did not cause her marriage issues and saying that you were the only hope. No, you weren't. Your sister is so wrong for putting all of that onto you. Like, yeah, it is a pretty wild situation that you were like, well, you know, I'm infertile, and then a couple of years after you're pregnant. But the fact that you lied about being infertile does not make you the a-hole. You lied about it because you felt like you had to, and she wouldn't take no for an answer like you said. It's still the fault of your sister for not respecting your boundaries about it. Yeah, like this comment says, saying that I was her only hope. Well, not true. She could hire a surrogate. She saw you as a potential free surrogate. She's been acting irrational and angry towards me ever since, and it's causing a lot of tension in the family. She was acting controlling and irrational to you before, but now it seems like I may have hurt her life. You didn't. Do you really think somebody who tried to pressure her sister to be a surrogate over and over, escalating to asking in front of family, would be able to stay married? Do you think she would have been a good mum? I don't. Your sister's problems in life are due to her own personality. Infertility may not have been helping, but she's a difficult person. Yeah, lies will bite you in the ass eventually, but I can't say that I blame you all that much. Not the a-hole. Yeah, and the comment below that one too. Yeah, sister is blaming OP for her own marital issues. Yeah, you're not responsible for this, OP. You did not ruin your sister's marriage, and it's so immature of your sister to blame you for all of this, OP. Yeah, and also this comment, not the a-hole. You repeatedly told her no, and she kept ignoring you. She tried to pressure you into agreeing by cornering you in front of the family. You did what you had to do in order to stop her and prevent family from taking her side and starting to harass you. Yeah, 100%. Like, oh, what's that? You don't want to be my surrogate? I am not gonna accept that. I'm gonna keep on asking and keep on badgering you about it. Your sister sounds kinda insufferable, OP, and her issues are not your issues. You're so not the a-hole, and of course, it's not good to lie, but what choice did she leave you, OP? She wouldn't take no for an answer, and she kept on going and going and going, guilt-tripping you and guilt-tripping you in front of family too, like you already firmly said no, and that didn't work. I can definitely understand why you were like, well, you know, I can't have kids, so will you please stop asking me to be your surrogate? Yeah, that's so frustrating to even read about. The next one's called, am I the a-hole for throwing a child's jar of peanut butter into the river? Okay, so let me explain. I work in a building near a river trail. During a short lunchtime walk, I noticed a mother and her 5-ish-year-old boy near the river by some Canadian geese. Upon closer inspection, the child was dipping small stones into the peanut butter and feeding peanut butter stones to the geese. I was shocked. I turned to look at the mother, expecting her to take some corrective action. Instead, to my dismay, the mother was amused, giggling at the child as he fed peanut butter stones to the geese. I strode over to the kid, took the jar, and I chucked it into the river. The mother looked at me stunned. I probably had the same look on my face because I was so stunned for a different reason. The child started to bawl, and instead of speaking, I just turned around and went back into my building. Please understand that I'm not a Canadian goose lover. I actually find them to be mean, and they literally poop anywhere pretty often. But I felt like I was watching a toddler version of Jeffrey Dahmer. Afterwards, I did question myself as to whether I overreacted, and maybe I do owe the mother an apology. What are your thoughts? I think if you're feeding rocks to geese, you should be thrown into the river. Like, what do you mean? And the mums are laughing. You should have thrown them both in the river, OP. But no, you're definitely not the a-hole, OP. You know what's beyond a-holy? Feeding rocks to geese. And also, what a garbage parent. Oh, haha, that's so funny. Ew. Like this comment says, that's messed up letting your kid harm an animal, not the a-hole. This comment says, so you threw a plastic jar in the river instead of the child? Yeah, they should have been thrown in the river. This comment says, not the a-hole. I hate bad parents so much. This comment says, I wish you would have called the police. Then you could have explained the behavior that she was supporting. That would be an animal abuse charge for her and a thank you for you. Yeah, that's so beyond messed up. Like, how do you let your kid do that and somehow find it funny? Like, oh, haha, I'm a terrible parent and I'm raising my child to be terrible too. Yeah, so funny. me. Like, yeah, you threw a peanut butter jar into a river when I guess you probably should have just took it with you or something. But they were feeding stones to geese. You're not the a-hole, OP. Post number 4. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my neighbor throw her kid's birthday party in my backyard? Okay, yo, this one is wild and I can't believe it even happened. So I, 22 female, have a nice backyard that I've spent a lot of time turning into my little sanctuary, plants and lights and stuff. It's my happy place and I love hosting quiet dinners with my close friends. But my neighbor, 43 female, has other plans. A few days ago, she comes over to ask me if she can use my backyard to throw her son's birthday party. Not a small gathering, she's talking about a bouncy castle, cake and loud music and a bunch of screaming kids. I was polite and I told her I wasn't comfortable with that because, well, it's my space and I don't really want to host a party for strangers. I did not think that was a big deal, but oh my god, she flipped out. She got super defensive and said, well, it's just a few hours and the kids need space to run around. Then she said that she'd give me $30 for cleaning up after. Like that was supposed to make me agree. When I still said no, she got even more rude and said, I'll just do it anyway. It's not like you're using your backyard all day. What? She literally threatened to throw the party in my backyard without my permission because apparently the neighborhood expects it. She stormed off and now some of the other neighbors are whispering like I'm the bad guy for not wanting 20 plus kids wrecking my garden. So am I the a-hole for standing my ground and refusing to let her take over my backyard? Please tell me this one's not real. Of course you're not the a-hole. Oh, okay, I'll just do it anyway. Like surely that's not real. How can somebody be that entitled? And also, OP, why do you need to ask if you're the a-hole? Of course you're not in the wrong. Am I the a-hole for doing absolutely nothing wrong? I guess because the neighbors are acting like you're the bad guy, but surely they just don't know the full story. Like nobody's gonna read this and be like, oh yeah, you're so in the wrong. But yeah, I don't know if you've got cameras or not, OP, but you definitely should get some if you don't already. Like yeah, come over and trespass. See what happens, you know? That's so unbelievable. The audacity of some people. Okay, the next one is on entitled people. Isn't it your job to touch my baby's dirty nappy? I'm currently on holiday with my husband and 2-year-old at a remote seaside village in Crete. We were sitting at the tavern next to the beach and a woman walks up from the beach looking to a waiter. When she finds him, I hear her say, I have some rubbish, will you dispose it for me? The waiter says yes and she hands him what looked like a full bulging nappy that wasn't even wrapped up, but like full and open and stretched out so you could see the insides that were orange and brown. How appetizing. The waiter made the funniest distrust face that I've ever seen and said, I'm not touching that lady. The toilets are over there. And then pointed towards the back of the tavern. I was holding back my laughter and my husband was too. The nappy lady then started waving the nappy at the waiter yelling, what terrible customer service. You are so rude. Where's your manager? Did anybody else see how he spoke to me? I'm a paying customer. All while looking around at the other tables. The waiter then just turned around and left, which was such a fantastic response to her crazy. And the lady was left there speechless. At that point, my baby was fussing, so I turned to tend to him, and I'm not sure what happened next. Oh my god, that's so gross. The entitlement, and also the fact that they tried to hand them a full nappy. Yeah, like this comment says, she may be a paying customer, but she's certainly full of it, much like the nappy. The top comment says, I'd definitely not like to see a waiter handling a dirty nappy, and then bringing my food. That's a serious biohazard. This comment says, oh my god, I saw something similar on a flight. This family was sitting in the row in front of me, and they had their son pee in a bottle, rather than taking the kid to the bathroom. When the cabin staff took the bottle with her bare hand, the dad just said with a smile, it's pee, and she looked so horrified. Wow, imagine smiling at somebody while you pass them a bottle full of pee. That's so wild. Okay, the next one says, am I the a-hole for kicking my brother and his new wife out of my house after they tried to redecorate my dead daughter's room when I was at work? So this is still pretty fresh and I'm absolutely fuming. For context, I, 38 female, lost my daughter 2 years ago in a car accident. She was only 14 and ever since that day I've kept her room exactly as she left it. Oh no, I'm so sorry, OP. I don't go in there often, but just knowing that it's there untouched does bring me comfort. It's like having a piece of her still with me. Her posters, her art supplies, her clothes, all of it is still there. I can't bring myself to change it. Now, fast forward to a few months ago, my brother, 34 male, and his new wife, 29 female, had some financial issues after blowing a ton of money on a ridiculous, extravagant wedding. They asked if they could stay with me while they saved up for a place. Even though I wasn't thrilled about it, I agreed because, well, family, right? At first, things were fine until recently. I noticed my sister-in-law making comments about how I shouldn't keep a shrine and how it's time to move on. I ignored her because, frankly, it's none of her damn business how I grieve my child. My brother mainly stayed quiet, but I could tell that she was getting into his ear. Wow, that's so insensitive. In your own home when you're letting them stay. Anyway, I came home from work last week to a nightmare. I walked into my daughter's room and I kid you not, they had taken down all of her posters, boxed up all of her stuff, and had had started repainting the walls a hideous beige color. They'd moved in a bunch of generic furniture, hung up new curtains, and they were apparently turning it into a guest room. Oh my god. I lost it, screaming and crying, the whole thing. I asked them what the hell were they thinking, and their response, my sister-in-law had the nerve to tell me that they did it as a favor to help me move on because it was unhealthy for me to keep the room the way that it was. I was shaking with rage. I told them to pack their stuff and get the hell out of my house immediately. My brother tried to calm me down, saying that they meant well and they were only trying to help me let go. He even tried to make me feel guilty by saying they had nowhere else to go right now, as if that would make me suddenly forgive them for destroying the last piece of my daughter that I had left. I told them I didn't care and they'd crossed an unforgivable line. Now my whole family is divided. How the hell could they be divided? I am so sick of reading about these family members. Who cares if they're divided? My parents think that I overreacted and say that I'm being heartless for kicking them out. Wow. How dare they? They keep on saying they were just trying to help and they didn't mean any harm, and that I'm being too harsh because people grieve differently. Yeah, people grieve differently. That's even more reason for them not to touch anything in the room. They're even suggesting I apologize and let them move back in. My brother is still texting me asking me to reconsider, saying that they're in a tough spot, but all I see when I look at him is betrayal. So am I the a-hole for kicking them out and refusing to even consider letting them back in after what they did? Of course not, OP. And did they even apologize? And screw your parents as well, OP. It's so infuriating to read that sort of stuff all the time. Like, oh, my family members are divided. Your family members need to stay out of it. I think you're being heartless for kicking them out. They were only trying to help. Get out of here with that. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. Your parents can frankly shut the hell up. They know damn well that your scumbag brother and his scumbag wife were trying to take over your daughter's room so that they could have much more space for themselves, and they still disrespected their granddaughter's memory to try and gaslight you otherwise. The utter nerve of your brother and sister-in-law. They are the way they are precisely because nobody has told them no before you. Yeah, and the sister-in-law making comments about OP's grieving like as soon as they got in there. How disrespectful. Like, that's enough right there for you to know that they're giant a-holes. And yeah, the parents aren't any better either. This comment says, not the a-hole. I'm so freaking livid for you. This is no contact worthy. Anybody who calls you heartless is pure evil. You've experienced the most gut-wrenching loss and my heart breaks for you. Guests don't get to have an additional guest room. They certainly don't get to touch anything that you've already said is precious to you. Anybody who disagrees can take those entitled a-holes in themselves. Yeah, like even if that bedroom was any old boring bedroom and it didn't really mean anything to OP, and it wasn't their daughter's room and it was just like some other room, it's still not okay for them to redecorate your bloody room without even asking, let alone in this situation where you were trying to keep everything. Yeah, I'm livid for you too, OP. And the most annoying part about this, I feel like they don't even feel bad. I don't know if you want to completely cut them out of your life, OP, but I feel like it's definitely a good idea. Like, nobody needs people like this in their life. That's so sad and so awful. And of course you're not the a-hole. OP doesn't have any updates or any comments, but yeah, all the best with it, OP. God, I can't get over that. And the parents to be backing them up too. Yeah, like this comment says, hell no. Even if it was a simple storage room, they had the nerve to redecorate and make decisions about your home. The details only make it even more entitled. They can go to the parents' house if they're in a tough spot. Yeah, also this comment, your sister-in-law is evil. Yeah, 100%. Of course go no contact, but I don't feel like that's enough. You need to banish them out of your life, OP. Like, that's so despicable. Okay, after what we've read today, I've got 2 wholesome memes, and boy do we need them. When you and your best friend get matching tattoos. Oh, that's so cute. The beautiful little love heart on the kitty cat. Oh, that's so beautiful, and it feels so good to read this after what we've read today. That one guy on Reddit having the exact same problem as me 9 years ago. Yeah, how true is that? Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You had the answers years ago. That's so funny. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. That was an unbelievable episode, and if you had a good time today, make sure you subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Twiggy Girl. I love the introductions. Concerning stories. So excited. Yeah, so exciting. Let's get this train wreck on the road. I'll get the snacks. Yeah, that's so true. Let's get this train wreck on the road. I feel like I need to say that in the intro sometime. That's so funny, and I hope you enjoyed the episodes. They are very concerning, but they're also very fun. Thank you for that comment, and thank you for the support, and thank you all for the support, guys. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!